Good morning, good evening, whatever time you may be watching. Hey, it's your girl. Why did I clap? Hey, it's your girl Ruby Suze, and I'm here to talk to you about something I just kind of need to let off my chest. It's just things that people have said to me since I've had my locks. Let's get into it. Okay, so since having my locks, I've had various different degrees of reactions, most of which have been pleasant. Most people have been like, oh, that's really nice. How long have you had your locks for? Or how long you've been growing in them? Actually, side note, question, comment down below. So when people ask me, how long have you been growing your locks, I get a bit stuck. Because the truth is, the length that they are, which now, shall I show you what their length they are? So the length that my locks are now, it's a bit crazy for me to turn around to someone and say, oh yeah, I've only been growing them a year. My natural hair was obviously quite short. Insert pic. So, because my natural hair was that short, people often ask how long I've been growing it, how does it go? And then I always have this kind of weird, like, is it mine? And then they ask me if it's mine, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's mine, because I bought it, and it's on my head forever. It's not like, you know, shaved off someone, and then I'm gonna, so I don't know, there's this internal complex of me saying they are mine but they're not mine. What would you say? What do you say? Do I say yeah, they're mine, or like because I mean, if it was a weave I would say no, obviously they're crocheting locks, but since that they actually are in my head, are they mine? They are mine, right? I don't know. Now that side note is conveniently over, I've had lots of assumptions or comments that have really rubbed me up the wrong way. Number one, they assume I am from the Caribbean. People have walked up to me speaking in very thick Caribbean accent, and I'm pretty sure it's patois that the language is. And I also have Nigerians, or Africans I should say, who also assume that I am Caribbean. So, but that one is funny because I'm standing right there and you're talking about me, usually in Yoruba, which is the language that my parents speak, sorry I should say, and I can understand everything you're saying, love. And it's very, you know, it's hilarious but insulting at the same time, because I can hear what you think about me before you even say hello to me. So yeah, I've had that from both sides. The next thing that I get asked is,
but when are you taking them out?
This one frustrates me. It annoys me because I've just told you I've had locks installed. I've got permanent lock extensions. I've gone through the whole explanation, and the next thing that you want to know is when I'm taking them out. I'm not taking them out. And then it usually is followed by, so if you want to take them out, you're gonna have to cut off your head. No, I don't need to not cut off my head. I mean, cut them out, cut your hair off. And I'm like, no, I don't actually. That's a common misconception. And then it goes into a conversation about you can actually comb them out, and it just becomes this long conversation. And it would have just stopped if you just not asked when I'm taking them out, because I'm not taking them out because I have no plans to take them out anytime soon. And no. Why have you done this to your hair? Because I want to, because I like it. Like, people feel like they must be like, I feel like sometimes people have wondered if I'm having like some kind of like midlife crisis, and am I doubting who I am or something? That's why I've done this to my hair. And is it like a last ditch at rebellion, which would be really late because I'm way past that 20-year-old stage. So it really is weird when people ask me why, and they look so sad when they ask me, like an African, and they're like, why now? Next thing that people usually say to me is, are you gonna lock your kids' hair? Now I get this because once I started locking my hair, then my husband's also started his lock journey, and the nature of my son's hair, it looks like it's forming locks. particularly when we haven't combed it, which, you know, that's just life. Sometimes it happens. And even if when you comb my son's hair, within an hour, the whole thing just shrunk again. So it's like those shrunk, it looks like you've used that comb to kind of separate it. You know what I mean? Those, not comb, the foam. I'll insert a video of what I mean, or picture. So you got them foam. So that's what my son's hair looks like. So people naturally just ask me, am I going to lock my son's hair? No, I'm not locking his hair. We've talked about it quite a bit. My son has requested it once or twice, but we're not taking him too seriously at the moment. The next things that people say or is that it's expensive. They say it's expensive that they to have locks because you need to keep up with the maintenance, and they've heard, or maybe they've done some research and figured out that it's expensive to keep going to a loctician at like £40 a pop. And they probably have they've also asked me how much it cost me to get my permanent lock extensions put in. And so when I tell them it's anything from, say, £350 to £500, depending on what it is that you want, the length and stuff like that, oh, it's expensive. But the truth of the matter is, I did the maths like this. I used to spend at least £40 to £50 minimum on doing my hair every month, or at least every 6 months. And times 10, just in, like, we haven't even got through the whole year yet. That equates to £400 to £500. So in my head, I was like, well, actually, if I do this, this is just the same amount of money that I would be spending in 1 year, one time, right? So I saved all my money and I spent it on my hair. And also I figured that weave, really good weave, is usually about that money if you really want to do it, and then you still have to pay for the installation or for someone to make it into a wig. So in my head, I'm like, I'm investing in hair that's going to be on my head. I don't have to go through all the rigmarole, the palaver of washing and bleaching and all of that stuff in terms of, you know, removing it from my head and washing it and getting someone to it's all attached to my head, and it lasts forever. So I've got no worries about whether the AliExpress reviews are real or not. I know that what is on my head is what I've got to work with, and so that's why I don't think it's expensive. I've never gone back to a loctician ever since I've started, so I think I've actually saved money rather than cost myself money. Now this last one has been something that's been really quite close to my heart, and this is where people question, this is when people question my religion. So because I have locks, some people have assumed that I am a Rastafari. That I can understand, because obviously locks are part of that religion. However, people have questioned my Christianity and whether or not I am a Christian because I have locks, and have said because I have locks I can't be a Christian, or I'm dabbling in things that aren't Christ-like. So it's seen in some cultures, and I think in the Nigerian culture especially, is seen as a sign of kind of, I don't know, like, I don't want to say demon possession, but like someone who's just not very well mentally, one, and spiritually is like, it's just seen as not done, okay? And so people have questioned how I express my faith, and for me that offends me, because my outward appearance has got nothing to do with what is going on internally. In terms of my relationship with God, you can't tell that by what I look like at all. You cannot tell how somebody loves God or has a relationship with Jesus Christ based on what they look. We can't do that. And there are so many examples in the Bible that shows you cannot make those assumptions. Like David himself, as King David, was not chosen because of the way he looked. You know, he wasn't given the role as king because of based on how he looked. It was because of his heart, and it confuses me when people say that. I get that some people have said that locks, and I might make a separate video about this because this could be quite a long one, but people have said that locks are a sign of slavery. It's how slaves used to have their hair, and so, you know, carrying locks is like trying to say that maybe you still see yourself as a slave, which, you know, according to, as a Christian, you shouldn't see yourself that way, you shouldn't present yourself that way. But again, I think it's all about my heart, and my heart hasn't got, it doesn't, that's not what my heart is saying. I don't feel bound and overwhelmed by some kind of spirit or possessed or anything like that. I made this decision because I wanted it, 2, because I think it looks beautiful, and 3, because it was the most easy way for me to maintain my hair but still look fabulous, if I may say so myself. Anywho, just want to say thanks so much for watching. Those are the 5 or 4, can't count right now, things that people have said to me since starting my locks, or questions that they asked me since starting my locks, that have rubbed me up the wrong way. Just a quick update for those of you who are here for the lock journey. My locks have not been retwisted now for a while, so just to give you an update, look, it's quite a lot of regrowth. There's some regrowth there, a bit of fuzziness. I'm trying to give my scalp a rest. In May I did quite a lot to my hair, so I'm just kind of giving it a rest. It's now coming up to the end of July, and I think I am going to retwist. I was gonna try and stay till September, but I think I'm gonna do it. But the length has grown a lot. You can see now it's touching there. It's almost no, it's not almost, but it's getting quite long. But yeah, I'm loving my locks. All right, take care, bye.